Hey, what's up everybody? It's Thursday on GenderqueerChat. This week's topic is a viewer question. I've tried to make this video a few times and I have a little bit of a hard time articulating exactly how I feel about this because it's kind of confusing me a little bit, I guess. It's a long question. I'm not going to read it all out. Matt already did that this week. So I'm just going to read the second half, which is, I can understand being drawn to a genderqueer identity if you experience dysphoria or discomfort over being perceived in gendered ways or for political reasons to do with wanting to dismantle the gender binary, but it seems like there are people who identify as genderqueer who are neither dysphoric nor politically motivated. In those cases, what draws a person to identify as genderqueer, given that there are people like myself with very similar experiences who remain identifying within the binary? The short answer is I have no freaking clue. But I can say, for me, I feel uncomfortable being perceived as female, for some reason, and I don't know why, and I've thought about this so much, why do I feel that tinge of, that's not right when somebody calls me their daughter, or, somebody refers to me as she, or, I don't know, because I just don't know. I have some discomfort, like some physical dysphoria sometimes, but not all the time. I politically, and I think Matt said this too, I don't know what came first, the gender thinking or the, being politically motivated. I do know what came first because I thought about gender a lot, and in the process of thinking about gender and learning about gender and everything, you can't help but become politically motivated. I think, anyone in a, whatever, state of different, you kind of, if you're living it every day, you can't help but try to sort of carve out a little place in the world for yourself and people like you. I think about, there's this one thing, this article that I read a long time ago, and I can't remember where it was from, but it was about somebody who was studying phantom limbs, and they learned that you often think of people who have phantom limbs as veterans and stuff who have lost their arm or their leg or whatever. But this person, or these people, did a study on it, and it turns out that people who had been born without ever having known what it felt like to have legs or arms or, whatever body part they're missing, turns out that they also had phantom limbs. And from that, they sort of devised and started to recognize that there seems to be brain patterns, sort of like a map of your body and your brain that's in your brain. So I feel like there probably has something to do with the way that our brains are mapped out that makes us different in some way. I have no idea what that is, and nobody knows, but it reminds me of I think I might have talked about this woman actually who talked about brain differences in the different genders, and she did say that they do see differences in the brains of, she didn't talk about transgendered people, but she talked about gay people. And I'm really queer in a various assortment of ways, and it probably has something to do with my brain and just the way that it's mapped out, and I think that if that is true. That could be a possible explanation for why it's different. To be honest, though, and it's just like Matt said earlier this week. By the way, welcome back, Matt. I'm very happy to have you back. I missed you. Anyway, like Matt said, it's the way I feel comfortable with. There's certain things where you just kind of know if you're comfortable or not. And it's a little bit almost like, like, not to sound too cheesy here, but almost like falling in love. Like, there are people who would probably be, sort of on paper perfect for you, but for some reason you don't have that emotional spark, and then, sometimes you really connect with people that you would think you wouldn't connect with, and there's something about it that is just internal, and it's just the way that you are, the way that you seem to interact. And I think that, as human beings, we are not scientifically, like, as advanced as we are, we don't know anything, and we don't really know anything about so much of how our bodies work and how our brains work and how our minds work. But individuals can tell you how they feel, and for me, I feel genderqueer. I don't quite feel trans, I don't quite feel, male or female, but I feel genderqueer. I feel like gender is not a part of me, and I don't know why. I could say that it's politically motivated. I could say that it's from, little bits of dysphoria that I've felt, but at the end of the day, I don't know. It just seems to be how I am, and it just seems to be the way that my brain is wired, and that's just the way it is. It's how I feel comfortable. So, yeah, I've had I don't know about this week, so sorry if that didn't really answer your question. I'm not sure that there is an answer to this question, so I don't know who it's from, this question, but I hope that this gave you at least a little bit of something to think about, and yeah, so thanks for watching. I will see you next week. Bye.